Welcome to Combos from the Couch by LifeStance Health, where leading mental health professionals help guide you on your journey to a healthier, more fulfilling life. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Combos from the Couch by LifeStance Health. I'm Nikki Lianza, and on this episode, I'll be speaking with Dr. Era Lambert, and we'll be talking about women's mental health in honor of Women's Mental Health Month in May. So great to have you back on, Era.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, even though we know a little bit since you've been on previously, but what led you to an interest in women's mental health?
Well, I'm Era Lambert. I'm a psychologist in Illinois. And I think first and foremost, I am a woman. So a lot of these topics impact me directly. And I think that's probably my biggest driving force as of now. And I think just in general, we've all been in a space, and I think especially for us as psychologists and therapists, we're in a space where we wanted to enter this role because we wanted to figure more out about ourselves as well as to help others.
Mhm.
And I think that's true for me, especially with this, right? I want to help myself so that I can better help other people. Um, yeah, so I think that's been my driving force.
Yes, I agree. Same here, and especially, in this year, 2025, really needing to make sure we're supporting those who identify as women. It's very important right now, for sure.
Absolutely, 100% agree.
So, what unique mental health challenges do women face today that might be overlooked or misunderstood?
I and I said earlier, this is such a big topic, and I think we have first and foremost, women have not really been researched
Hmm.
well in past. And I think that sets the tone for having a lot of things, one, misunderstood or not understood at all, not
Right.
even misunderstood. And I think some of the major things that at least come up for me in sessions with people are hormonal changes.
Mhm.
So we're talking pregnancies, perimenopause, menopause,
Right.
um, and any of the other things that happen with just chronic stress and
Yeah.
how that can throw off hormones.
Mhm.
Um, and I'd say because those aren't discussed in open forum as much as they are today, they weren't before. Um, there is uh, a general misunderstanding of them, right? You hear
Mhm.
that like, oh, she's just hormonal, right? Oh, it's just her
Right.
hormones. Where
Right.
it's just a very like nonchalant
Right.
swipe, like, oh, whatever.
Right.
So I think that's a really big one that comes out a lot these days. I have a handful of clients that are going through perimenopause, and there were so many things. They say, I wish I would have known all these things before hitting this. I would have been better prepared. So I think that's a big one. Um, I think, especially when talking about perimenopause, I think women aren't told enough that exercise plays a huge role
Yeah.
in how our hormones can regulate themselves and how that sets us up for better health in perimenopause and menopause. So I think that just gets swept under the rug a lot. Um, and then let's see what else I have a list here. I also think that, and I think you have a question later on about this, but women are expected to have multiple roles, and we're
Yeah.
supposed to do them 100%
Yep.
all the time,
Yep.
which impacts our ability to take care of ourselves and be
Yeah.
present for ourselves. Um, and then not only that, we also have the layers of cultural diversity,
Yeah.
right? The color of my skin plays a huge
Mhm.
role in the ways in which my mental health,
Intersectionality. Yeah.
absolutely.
Right.
And then not only that, but socioeconomic status is going to play a
Yep.
role too, right? If I don't have access, if I financially can't afford to take care of myself, I'm going to be less better off than others.
Right. Right. I hear you. So, how do you see societal expectations and gender roles affecting women's emotional well-being?
Um, I think we have to start off that we have this imagined norm. And this comes up. I think just generally, I grew up with this like American dream situation, right? You grow up,
Mm-hmm.
you have the family, you have the job, you have this, you have that.
Mm-hmm.
That just it doesn't exist. It did, I think, at one point. It doesn't exist anymore. And I
Right.
think we are still, as women, being compared to that.
Yes.
And I think that impacts us so greatly. Um, and I also think we're setting younger women up
Yeah.
for failure
Good point.
almost immediately with
Mhm.
maintaining this. And I don't think social media is doing us any justice with this as well, right? We have all the
Right.
influencers that are coming up saying, "Oh, this is my life. This is how you do
Right.
it. This is how you balance everything."
Mm-hmm.
Um, and social media at times can be enlightening, but oftentimes we're creating a picture, right? And so we're just perpetuating that imagined norm that we can't live up to. Um, I also don't think that elephant in the room, the current political structure is not doing us any favors. Um, I think I think our our politics have always defined gender. And especially now we're going back, right, to redefine it yet again. And that it's always been a challenge for individuals. It's always been a huge challenge.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I'm personally just not excited about where this is all going. And it wasn't as in your face, as now. But when I think about that, I immediately think about, I don't know if you remember Harrison Butker's graduation speech that went viral, and he went on this like tangent about how essentially women should be at home and there's no
Oh,
reason.
yes. Oh, yes.
Right. And how, there was a lot of outrage with that, but there wasn't any backlash or
Right.
enough, I would say, as a
Right.
woman,
Right.
that it was kind of like, oh yeah, you shouldn't say that.
And
But
that was
that's
that. Right. Yeah.
right.
Couldn't say
But
that, but
that's the
then nothing else.
political,
Right.
exactly. And that's the political and social structures that we're having to combat constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think gender roles in generally have limited women throughout history, from lack of financial independence, right? I have clients who are like, my mom couldn't have her own, bank account. Like she had to have someone else's name on it up until
Mm-hmm.
she was like 40. And like, we're making strides, but I don't know how far we're going.
Right.
Um, and I think there are so many narratives out there today that we are perpetuating that make it so that women are constantly trying to reach for a goal that just doesn't exist
Right. Right. That's not realistic, you
at
know?
all. Yeah.
Right. Right. We talked about before about those multiple roles and the challenge of that. So, what guidance do you give women who are struggling to balance those multiple roles, like being a caregiver, a professional, managing their own well-being? What do you tell them?
It's unrealistic.
Yeah, right?
Like, first
Exactly.
and foremost, let's just, again,
Get
elephant
it
in the
out there.
room. It's unrealistic to
Mhm.
believe that we can manage those things by ourselves. So,
Key point by ourselves. Yes.
yes.
Agreed.
And I guess I want to make that a super important point because that is the culture that we've created, which is I'm an individual and I can do this all by myself.
Hmm.
And we've gone away with like the it takes a village situation where community was actually large and important and valued. Um, so I first and foremost, it's just unrealistic to
Hmm.
think that you can get it all done and maintain your own sanity.
Right, right.
Um, I often go through lines of questioning of, I mean, whether managing all the roles is actually necessary, right? Is it really necessary for you to be 100% perfect caregiver? I mean, I'm not. I love my
Mhm.
children
Right, right,
dearly, but
right.
I don't want to be around them all the time. Um, and so there's a lot of discussion about where can we compromise, right? Where can we, maybe do 50% over here so I can do 100% over here.
Hmm.
Uh, I think it's useful to have a supportive partner or supportive friends and family who can step
Mhm.
in and help you. Um, my husband and I both are full-time workers, and so we are constantly having that discussion of, okay, I need to be 100% on this day. Okay, cool. I will take the kids and
Right.
I will do this
You guys are
for this
tag
day.
teaming. Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
so that's, I mean, I'd say that is paramount to making sure that like if you truly value being 100% in all of these areas, you can't do it alone and you have to implement like other areas where people are going to help. Um, and um, yeah, I'd really hone in on like either, right? Honing in on, okay, I don't have to be 100% at work all the time. Um, or this it takes a village mentality of I'm not going to do it by myself.
Mhm.
I know that it's hard, and I think one of the pieces that is often forgotten with the village mentality is that it's a reciprocal and mutual relationship with others in the community. So it's not I want this for myself. It's I also have to give this.
Wow, good point. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's forgotten a lot.
The
I think I saw
reciprocity of it. Yeah.
yeah, I think I saw a social media video of like people don't want the village, people just want, support. And
Right.
this woman was like, okay, so I heard you. I'm not doing my part in this. So I started offering all of this help to other people and I saw it return to me. Um, and I'll say that that's hard. So I'm a military family. And so we move around every couple of years. And it's every couple of years, I am working really hard to reach out to people and connect and make all of those things happen
Mhm.
where it might not always be returned right away because they all, like the mom friends that I have, all have their own sets of friends, their own family in the area,
Gotcha.
right? And so it's a constant checking in of like, okay, I'm going to offer this to all these people in my life now. And my hope is that it's going to be returned. And more often than not, it is. So it's being able to, again, compromise and figure out where you can lend a hand and when you can get it back.
Definitely. Do you feel there are generational differences in how women approach mental health and seeking help and care?
Yes,
Yes. We
100%.
both are like, yes, definitely. We know that.
Absolutely.
Definitely know that.
I was trying to take stock of my clients because I do the range, right? I see kiddos from 12 all the way up to like 70s. And I was trying to think about how everyone kind of approaches it. And I have found that the younger generations truly use therapy as like a tool, right? How can I better myself? How can I fix this, et cetera, et cetera.
Mhm.
I think in some ways social media has helped and hurt in
Right, right,
that same vein,
right.
where the younger generations I find are much more aware of the behaviors and symptoms and this, that, and the other. But I think the younger generations are also really quick to say, I have a problem,
Yeah.
right? Like, I need this fixed. And so that can always be a problematic situation, right? Where it might not be an actual problem. You've seen a TikTok where someone said that particular symptom is related to PTSD. Just,
Right, right,
and again, right, it helps and hurts. I love the amount of
right,
information, and also we have to recognize when that's applicable and when it
right.
really matters.
And I think as clinicians, we're maybe doing a lot of educating in that realm to help them understand. Yeah.
Absolutely. I had a client a while ago come in and ask, right? I watched a video that said if I'm reading a lot, it means that I'm trying to escape and that's bad. I said, okay, I hear
Right,
ya. I
right,
hear
right,
ya. But
right,
if
right.
reading is not impacting your life, if you're not like missing things because you want to read and you want to escape that badly, you're like, you're fine,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So I find that younger generations are super aware and they come
Yeah,
in for
yeah,
actually implementing and, finding tools. And that my older generational clients, honestly, it's more companion based, right? Um, I don't really know what this is for, but I'm just going to talk to you like
Yeah,
you're a
that is
friend.
so true, Era. Yeah, yeah. That's my
And
experience too. Yeah.
absolutely. And so that's also great, right? Because what we learn as therapists is we meet them where they're
Yep.
at. If they want a companion, by
Yep.
all means.
Yep.
There's plenty of research out there that says whatever relational dynamic we create in this therapeutic area, this session,
Hmm.
is actually the most influential for them to get better, right? So, sure, I'll be
Right.
your
Yeah.
companion if this is what's going to help you, right? And I've also seen that sometimes it's a little bit trickier with the older generations to shift perspective, right? Because they've grown up with very specific beliefs,
Right.
very specific thought patterns, and it's really hard to say like, well, there's something else out there that also can exist. Um,
Mm.
and so I, it's a challenge, right? To try
Yeah.
and balance and figure out where everyone is and how you like just meet them where they're at.
Right. Right. Very true.
Yeah.
Any other takeaways you'd like to share?
Oh gosh. Deep breaths moving into
Yeah.
this year. I think this is the case for most situations where we're entering into a lot of uncertainty is recognize where you are, right? Recognize
Mhm.
any symptoms of burnout, overstimulation, overwhelm,
Mm.
and then figure out ways that you can combat that either by doing self-care or bringing in that village, right? Bringing in the
Yeah.
friends to help, the family, the partner, and taking it day by day because, again, uncharted territory where we're moving in these
Definitely.
times, and so it's right. Take care of yourself.
That's the key, taking care of ourselves and taking it day by day. My gosh.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Era. Thank you for all your insights in this amazing topic and much important topic too. So
I
thank you.
appreciate that. Thank you.
I'd also like to thank the team behind the podcast, Juliana Whitten and Jason Clayton, with a thank you to Jason who edits our episodes. Thank you for listening to Converse from the Couch. Take care, everyone.